Thanks for joining us for City Council Comments. I'm Steve Erickson along with Mayor Jerry Cook. Today we're talking about both the March 7th and our March 21st City Council meetings. Thanks for joining us again today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Happy to have you in the spring here now officially this week, and it's also the official beginning of pothole season.
Well, let's start with that.
Hey, we did talk about it a little at the meeting, so why not go right off on it?
Well, we did. It's a particularly rough season for potholes because of all the bizarre weather we've had.
Yeah.
And we're in this early season where the hot patch plants aren't open yet.
Yeah.
That's what they like to use for the permanent repairs or,
Yep.
So right now they're all doing the worst ones with cold patch, just hoping that kick that can down the road a week or two and until they get the hot patch.
It's hard. It's not just us, obviously. It's all over.
It's everywhere.
You're just driving and dodging potholes. So we need some patience for the next couple of weeks and try to avoid them as best you can. And then once those hot
asphalt plants
open, they can't open in the winter or something? Is that the...
So what I was told is the temperatures have to stay above 35 degrees even at night. Okay. So they have to wait for the weather to get to the point where it's not dropping below 35 at night.
Okay, that makes sense. Because you think they could make the hot patch, but...
Yeah, that's why I don't know why it's 35, because, in my mind, things freeze at 32.
Right, but it must be something with when they put it on the road and how it adheres and all of that. So.
Yeah.
Patience for a couple more weeks, and we'll get to filling more of those potholes.
All I know is the ones that I was getting really good at dodging, they patched.
Oh.
So all of a sudden I went, they're full.
That's good. I'm sure you'll find a few others here in the coming weeks.
Oh, there's no shortage of them.
All right. Well, let's jump right into things here. We're going to start off talking about our Tuesday, March 21st meeting. One of the first items there was a presentation from Mercy Hospital. They actually are making a big donation to one of our parks.
Yeah, $40,000 for Mercy Park. Mercy Hospital is a great community partner. It's such a great asset for us to have in our town. And right adjacent to Mercy Hospital is Mercy Park, and they wanted to partner with us to put in some adaptive playground equipment. They've got Courage Kinney there, so they wanted to make they wanted some things in there for those folks, and it's just going to be great. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be nice for them. It's going to be nice for families when they're when they're visiting folks in the hospital and they've got the kids along, get them out there and run the air out, run their legs out a little bit. And so that's probably the wrong way to describe that when you're also talking about the Courage Kinney kids. I'm sorry.
But it's good it's nice to have a place of their own, a play structure that they can use and have fun along with all the others. It's supposedly installed this summer, July or August. We were told, and they're actually hoping maybe to come back next year and do a phase 2.
Yeah, they're hoping that this is a phase 1 and that in another year they can come back and do a phase 2, and aiming at the kids between the ages of 2 and 5.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. It's great for us.
All right.
It's great for the city, it's great for them. We're happy. Yeah,
so Mercy Park is being redeveloped this summer. That's one of the parks, and they're actually putting down, they said, a surface the same as Lions Coon Creek Park.
Which is what you need anytime you're doing the adapted park. It's got to have like that rubber surface.
Yeah. All right. Well, great addition, and we appreciate their donation.
Yes.
Moving forward, Council approved nominations to the Coon Creek Watershed District Board of Managers. This is something we did last year. I know we hadn't had someone on this Coon Creek Watershed District for several years. We actually got a Coon Rapids resident on last year, correct?
We did.
Mary Campbell, I believe, is her name. And now there's actually another vacancy, apparently, and we are nominating some more residents.
Right. We can put a slate forward. I think we have to have 3. Okay. I think for them to consider it.
Yeah.
And we have a slate of 5. Yeah. So we have 5 residents that have expressed their experiences, and many of them look like they would be good candidates. So that's been put forward to the board, the Anoka County Board. They will make the decision. And who knows? We might go from none to the 1 now and maybe 2 representatives from Coon Rapids on the Coon Creek Watershed.
Yeah, and it's nice, because it represents several different cities, so it's nice when there is representation from, all the cities in the Watershed District.
Right. Yeah, and we're the largest area of Coon Creek Watershed, so it's nice to at least have representation on there.
Yeah. All right. We'll see what happens there. Council considered adoption of an ordinance amending Chapter 5-200. This relates to alcoholic beverages, and this is just some cleanup work here in code.
Well, so what they noticed was they had a couple different things in our code that we no longer have in town.
Yeah.
And one was, and I was just trying to find it, but for some reason I'm not pulling it up. One was public drinking, public something.
Yeah.
And the other one was a bottle shop.
Okay.
And we haven't had a bottle shop in Coon Rapids, I don't think, it seems to me that the Shortstop used to be beer and setups way back, like in the early 70s. Okay. And I know the Bonanza at one time down on Coon Rapids Boulevard, that's been gone forever, used to be beer and setups.
So there's bottle clubs and public drinking place. Is
right.
That what
public drinking place. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Those are the two things that they've cleaned up the code, and they've removed those from our applicable businesses.
Okay.
The only bottle club we know of now, and it's Dean's Country Manor out in Dayton, which is I like it. It's very retro, but that's the only one I even know about anymore.
Okay.
So it was just a matter of cleaning it up, and if somebody came back to us with that business model, well, we'd probably look at it again. But.
Exactly, but you don't have to at this point.
Correct.
The other one was kind of a cleanup thing as well. This was adopting an ordinance amending Chapter 5-2000 related to lawful gambling. There was a word in here that we needed to get rid of.
Yeah, electronic. You wouldn't think you would have to. However, when we set up our pull tab ordinances, the state didn't have legal electronic gambling. So we could say they can have their, our charitable gambling groups they can sell pull tabs, or they can have an electronic dispenser of pull tabs. Okay. But now there's some confusion between our electronic dispensers of pull tabs and electronic gambling, which is all the iPads in the bars.
Yeah.
So we took the word electronic out of the pull tab dispensers to clean that up.
Okay. So some housekeeping there with the code.
Yep. Who knows?
All done. All right. That is all we had from our March 21st. It was only about a half-hour meeting. That Mercy presentation lasted the longest, but you know what? That was the best part. So glad to have some representatives here from Mercy.
Yeah, when you see a meeting with 9 items, you're going, oh, this isn't going to be long.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what 9 items.
Oh, right. Yeah, there could be a reason you'll get 9 because number 8 is going to be a long one.
Right. Sure. We've seen that before.
Yeah.
All right, we will jump back now to our March 7th meeting, our first one of the month there. We also had a fun proclamation there recognizing the Coon Rapids competition cheer team. They had just returned from a big national competition.
First time Coon Rapids High School has been to the Nationals. Yeah. They just returned from Orlando as a top 10 in the nation cheer squad. Yeah. And it's an amazing presentation. They performed down there, and then they performed them at the high school before they left.
Yeah.
A great bunch of athletes, and it was really fun to recognize them and the ones that were able to make it. And
And you were there for the send-off ceremony at the high school. That was kind of a special thing they did for the community before they left.
Yeah, it was really a fun night. It was, the cheer squad, the middle school cheer came over and performed. The cheer squad performed. The parents of the cheer squad put together a cheer to surprise them and give them, inspire them a little bit. So it was really a fun night.
A lot of fun. All right. Well, if you missed that, we have it on our CTN YouTube channel. We recorded the presentation, so check that out. And congratulations to the team.
And it shouldn't be lost on anyone that 2 years ago, AMP Athletics opened in Coon Rapids.
Yeah.
And I think it was kind of a kickoff from the Cheer Booster Club. Mm-hmm. And it really works hand in hand with our high school on helping develop those cheer athletes. And I think it's really tied into that suddenly we have a top 10 in the nation cheer squad.
Yeah.
And they great work ethic, great athletes, and a lot of fun.
A lot of hard work, so congratulations to them. All right, we also had a police department promotional ceremony. Not something we do every day, but we had 3 officers who were promoted to sergeant.
We did. Chief Stanky, when he came in, for several years we've recognized and sworn in the new officers. It's a great way for the community to meet our new officers. When Chief Stanky was appointed, or when he became our police chief, he said, I also want to bring promotions in, to recognize these officers that have been with us for a while, and for the community again to embrace them, to get to know them, and to help celebrate. And we had 3 promotions. We had Sergeant Joe Neufeld, Sergeant Tyler Brown, and Sergeant Greg Nordby, and they were recognized, badged, and sworn in, and it was really a nice situation.
All right, nice to see. Congratulations to them on the promotion. And as I understand it now, there'll be a little something in the spring newsletter on this. But with these 3 sergeant promoted, we now have supervisory coverage 24/7, 365 days a year. So,
which you think we want that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised we didn't have it before, but this is great that we now have that for sure. Obviously, there's the chief and the higher level for major incidents that happen in off hours, but it's nice to know there's always a sergeant on duty if anything comes up.
There you go.
All right. Moving forward, Council adopted a resolution supporting a Minnesota Green Corps application.
Right. And I actually just kind of highlighted a couple of things here. The Minnesota Green Corps program is administered by the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency. It provides an educated workforce member that serves the host site with a full-time employee for a term of approximately 11 months from September of 23 to August of 24. So that's what we're applying for. We're applying to hopefully get one of those employees that would then be funded by the state to help us out here. And let's see, they would work under the direction of the recycling coordinator and the sustainability planner. And the program topic they've chosen is community readiness and education. And education and outreach will be the focus then for each group. And what they're hoping with this person coming in is that they would create surveys, audits, pilot programs, various methods of education across many platforms. And the Green Corps member will develop a group of volunteers where members elect a focus area and receive training. And this was kind of the legacy. The goal is to create a network of educated community members to support the programs in face-to-face group settings and community events. Under staff guidance, this volunteer group may become a permanent resource that can support projects within the sustainability family. So it's a pretty neat thing. I mean, to get the state-funded person to come in, which we're hoping that they accept our application, and then to set up a program that creates a lifetime of legacy from that 11-month tenure here. Okay. So we're good.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens there, and hopefully we are successful with that application.
Yeah.
Moving on, it's kind of on the same topic here. Council adopted a resolution approving Sustainability Commission member. We got a new member on the commission.
Yeah.
It's Peter Butler. He submitted an application for the Sustainability Commission, and he was recommended to be on that commission.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Peter Butler, for stepping up and actually to all of our commission volunteers. We're so thankful for all of your efforts for the city.
Yeah, and we have vacancies from time to time. This one, Peter will be filling through a term ending December 31st, 2024. So again, we say this all the time. I feel like I repeat myself, but if we have somebody new joining us, if you're interested in serving on any of the city commissions, best thing to do is go to the city's website. There's an application on there that you can submit to the city, kind of ranking your interest on which commission you'd like to serve on. And they keep those on file, and then when we have openings come up from time to time, they can look at those.
Yeah, and I think a couple of the committees that we need to keep staffed is like the Planning Commission. Yep. It's a very visible commission. Yep. Board of Adjustment and Appeals, but we have other commissions that often have openings, like the Arts Commission, and that's a very busy group. They do a lot of fun things, but they also work pretty hard.
Yeah.
So,
Get your application in.
It's on the city's website, and the city clerk that office handles all those things.
All right. One commission that is a little bit different is our Charter Commission. Council is recommending reappointments of several of our Charter Commission members.
Right. And all we can do is make a recommendation, and then it's up to the In this case, the Honorable Stoney Hilgis, Chief Judge for the 10th Judicial District, who makes the final appointment.
Okay.
And the 2 charter members that we recommended that they renew their terms was Gerald Splinter and Timothy Farmer.
All these names sound familiar.
Right? I love that one. That's why we can't require our staff to live in town,
right.
But I love it when they do, because Jerry Splinter is our retired city manager, still lives in town. He's still helping us out. He's serving on our charter commission. The other with him, Tim Farmer, is a retired fire chief, Coon Rapids fire chief. And he's also involved, in the Lions and all kinds of things. Keeps very busy, works very hard. And we're just very thankful for all of their efforts. And familiar names.
All right. And then Stoney, our former city attorney, will be deciding whether or not these 2 can be reappointed. Right?
Pretty sure
that's what it sounds like.
Pretty sure it's a shoe-in.
Okay. All right. All right. Moving forward, Council considered a resolution amending land use from commercial to commercial mixed use. This is for a Norbella Senior Living project at 3011 124th Avenue. This is close to Main Street and Highway 10.
This is right on Main Street and right off of Highway 10. It's the closest to the east on-ramp off of Main Street. This is directly across the street, or directly across Main Street from Menards, and it's right next to the new Metro, or the storage building that's there. I'm not sure if it's Metro.
Yeah, I think it's Metro.
Okay. And this is a really tricky little parcel of land because it fronts Main Street. It's kind of down below it. The grade drops there quite a bit. You got Twin City Orthopedics there. But right on the east side, south side of them, it's all residential. It's all single-family homes. So you can't have a use come in there that's like a Menards with all of that traffic that comes in and out, because all of the traffic is coming off 124th on the bottom because of that elevation change on Main. It's just been very tricky. Shamrock owned the parcel for years. They almost had a Lifetime Fitness come in, and then that never came to fruition. When it was time for that storage unit, the neighbors thought that was a good fit. We thought that was a good fit. And now they're coming with this assisted living place, which is really, it's like, sure, people live there, but it's really more of a commercial application. And the neighbors were okay with it, and it seems like a good use for there. So we had to convert it into a planned unit development in order to authorize that use. And that's what we have done, and that's the action we took, and the council supports it.
All right. So yeah, it is stuck between like that storage unit, and then there's a couple single-family homes right next to it. But hopefully, it's not a high-traffic use, I imagine. So
no, I mean, really, the traffic you're going to have will be the staff, and then any visiting families. And I wish there was a traffic situation with so many families visiting their loved ones. But the reality is, it's probably once a week or once a day tops. So
okay, so something finally going to be put on that land.
Yeah, it'll be nice to get a nice use in there, and assisted livings are in demand. We really need them.
All right. Council considered and received the 2022 Community Development Annual Report. We go over all this stuff at meetings and projects all year long. You sometimes forget all of the projects that are done in a year and all the work that is done by our community development department.
I would encourage everyone to get out and click on the website, Community Development, and look at this. If you wonder what's going on in Coon Rapids, you see on social media, there's always the negative Nellies that always go, oh, this is leaving, or that's closing. It's like, just spend a few minutes and actually dig into what's going on, because we have millions and millions of dollars of new construction, millions and millions of dollars of new investment in our city every year, and this is no exception. And the 2022 Community Development Annual Report will fill folks in on what's been going on. Coon Rapids Community Development Annual Report 2022. The city issued permits for $183 million in new construction activity last year. 2022, $183 million in new construction, new investment in Coon Rapids. These projects include a mix of commercial, industrial, residential, and institutional uses that will provide new housing, business, and employment opportunities. And since 2012, so just in those 10 years, more than $1.41 billion of private and public construction investment has occurred in Coon Rapids. There's a lot of really good things going on here. And
it's not just banks. It's not just car washes.
Oh, come on. It's not just car washes. Are you sure?
So, I mean, that's one thing we see often is people like, we don't need any more banks. We don't need any more of this. But the fact of the matter is, if something is zoned that, there's not much the city can do correct to prevent them from going in if they want to go in.
Okay, so the old Coon barbecue site is a perfect example. Right across the street from Cobb, next to Burger King there, we have a brand new car wash on the north side of 10 that just went in, Shine or whatever it is. Jerry Shimoli owns the Minocco on the corner down there. He just put in a brand new car wash in order to compete with the new car wash on the other side of 10. And now we have a new car wash coming in on the old Coon site. It's zoned community commercial. It's an applicable use. It fits within community commercial. It didn't require us to change anything.
Right.
And it wasn't like we said, gosh, we want a car wash there.
Right.
But the reality is, somebody did a demographic study and they said, you know what, that will support another car wash yet, and we're willing to invest millions of dollars to put it in. Okay. So it's not our place to say, no, we'd rather wait and hope for a restaurant there on that community commercial that somebody's been paying taxes on all these years. So maybe a car wash isn't our first choice.
Right.
But somebody's going to make the investment and they're going to do it. So.
All right. Behind the scenes, though, is our community development department looking at other projects that we could bring in here, or other higher end things, or is that all just like word of mouth to these companies?
Well, so our community development works really closely with anybody that's interested in Coon Rapids, and they work hard marketing Coon Rapids. They've got several events during the year that they promote Coon Rapids during, and anybody that looks to Coon Rapids for any guidance or help, boy, they're going to find nothing but a helping hand from our community development. And if you talk to people that have built here, they know them by name and they thank them by name. Gosh, they were so helpful in getting us here and helping us with our financing. And so I think I sort of got lost from your question. But behind the scenes,
some people are just like, are we trying to get, I don't say things better than a bank or better than another car wash, but people can also do that by contacting these companies. You want something in town, call them up. Maybe if enough people did it, they might consider. But obviously they look at demographics very closely and all of that stuff as well before they're going to move into a certain location.
Exactly. And it's like the unnamed grocery up in Riverdale. They didn't pump the brakes on coming in with that because it's in Coon Rapids. They nationally made a decision that we need to slow down on this market expansion and rethink this a little bit. So they've got the premises, they're paying the rent, they've got the keys, so it's kind of out of our control. But they're going to do what they're going to do.
Right, and then you have constantly changing economic conditions from day to day, month to month. So. All right.
I have to say, I am really impressed with where we're at. When you saw how Amazon was starting to take over the market already 25 years ago, and then it just kept growing, and then especially when COVID hit, and everybody is just changing their patterns, I was a bit in a panic for our 2 million square feet of retail up there, and they've done a tremendous job. I mean, that's still where businesses want to be. If you see a vacancy there, it's probably not going to be vacant for long. I'm sure there's somebody looking at it.
All right. Great transition. There is stuff going on up there. We just had Sierra had their grand opening last weekend, I believe.
Sierra Trading.
Esmeralda's is open.
Esmeralda's. I've been following the reviews, and everybody is just really impressed with the food and the service. And
where is that?
It's right next to the Shears Pablo Yeah, it's there. It used to be used to be a restaurant.
Was Acapulco there?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, then they went
but it's over by Joanne, where that area
Yep.
is where you'll find that.
Right. Yeah, kind of across the parking lot from Kohl's and Joanne and all that.
And now we also heard there's a Planet Fitness. They're taking over the old DSW shoe space.
Yeah. So DSW kind of had an unusual spot there in that they had their retail store like they normally do, but then they also had warehouse space, and they wanted to get rid of the warehouse space. And it was like, well, there's no use for it then.
Right.
So they ended up pulling out of there. Planet Fitness came in. It's going to be a great fit.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that DSW knows this market was enough of a success for them that they find another spot.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
That'd be great. All right. They're maybe going to open this summer. July is maybe what we're hearing.
Planet Fitness.
Yeah. Anything else that you are thinking of? We have a bank proposal that just came to the planning that might be coming to you.
Yeah.
I brought up banks before because of that.
You're right. Right.
That's going to go next to the vitamin shop, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Or the Krispy Kreme.
Yes.
That's what that opened as.
Yes.
So
still has the drive-through around back or something. That was part of this whole site plan.
Yeah. And if you drive in and out of there all the time, the parking lot on the north side there where Chipotle and Cold Stone and everything is, that parking lot is always filled. And the one by the vitamin shop is like 3 cars, So I think this is a good use of that space.
Yeah.
Cut off for a bank. So.
All right. So that's kind of the latest updates on things that we know. We also just had a change come to the planning for kind of some more recreational uses in Riverdale. So we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah. No, we're not going to say.
I mean, we can if you want. The proposal that they were looking at was like an axe throwing place. I know people have seen those. So it's presently wouldn't be allowed in the Riverdale area. So
yeah, and I can't. It was sort of broached to the council, and the council all went, well, why wouldn't we want that?
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's part of the whole entertainment shopping kind of experience. So.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, we have one winter concert still to come, April 13th. It's the Backyard Band in the Civic Center. So if you haven't got out to a winter concert yet, you have one last chance.
Thursday, April
13th.
13th, okay.
Yep.
Very good.
All right, and there's another city newsletter that'll be mailed out here around April 5th, 6th, 7th. So watch your mailboxes for that. Lots of information on upcoming summer events. We'll get into a busier time.
I implore you, don't just recycle that. Go through it and look, and at least pull the dates out, pull the information out. There's everything that impacts how you live in Coon Rapids for the next at least quarter.
Yeah, exactly. And then the quarter after. So we'll talk more about that in the coming months as well.
Perfect.
All right, we are out of time. Thank you for coming in today. Thank you at home for watching, and we'll see you back here again after our 2 meetings in April.